was to move some amount of this material to Russia for keeping.
Okay, so not destroying, but keeping. Would you keep Iran's enriched nuclear material that they've made in the past few years? Is that an offer to the U.S.?
We are not putting our nose in the negotiations between two countries, one of which is not Russia. And I said very clearly, I believe, but you wanted a brief answer, I will have to be longer, since it is not probably getting through. We welcome the dialogue between the US and Iran. We would be certainly ready to help if both parties believe this is going to be useful, and they know that we are ready.
Mm-hmm. Well, back then there were sanctions and pressure at the UN. It's a very different dynamic now. I want to ask you quickly about nuclear weapons because Russia is such a nuclear powerhouse. According to US intelligence, Russia is developing a new satellite meant to carry a nuclear weapon, which would knock out other satellites and devastate the US if it's used. That's in publicly published material. Does Russia intend to violate past treaties and actually put a nuclear weapon in space?
Well, before asking this question, you have to check whether this is true or not, what your military...
This is what U.S. intelligence says.
U.S. intelligence... I was listening to President Trump about his views of what is the list of achievements of U.S. intelligence, and I have my own facts on which I rely. We have been promoting for many years in the United Nations a resolution prohibiting putting any nuclear weapons into outer space. The country which is categorically against it is the United States. At the same time, the United States promotes an approach according to which they want to prohibit putting conventional weapons in outer space. And they cannot answer the question, does this mean that nuclear weapons they would be planning to move to the orbit? So my answer is very clear. We have been championing in the United Nations a legal prohibition of placing any nuclear weapons in outer space. And the United States, at least during the Biden administration, this was the case. They were categorically against it.
It was the Trump administration's intelligence community that published those findings just a few weeks ago. Are you saying the Trump administration's intelligence community findings are incorrect in regard to Russia developing a new satellite meant to carry a nuclear weapon?
We denied those allegations. We, once again, cannot help repeating, have been promoting for years in the United Nations a treaty, not a declaration, a treaty prohibiting placing weapons in outer space. And the United States is against it. I cannot comment about the validity of the intelligence reports, as I told you. We never received any facts which would confirm the allegations.
Do you have any interest in arms control talks with the United States, with the Trump administration?
It was the United States which broke the process of strengthening strategic stability, and as if the United States is willing to get back to this track, we would see what are the conditions under which this might be possible. As long as in the U.S. doctrinal documents, we are described as adversary, when the officials in Washington some time ago called us enemy. So we want to understand what Washington thinks of our relationship. and whether Washington is ready for, I would emphasize once again, an equal, mutually respectful dialogue heading to finding a balance of interest. If this is the approach, everything is possible.
Minister, we are coming up on time, but just before I let you go, from everything you laid out, I haven't heard from you that Russia is willing to make any concession on anything to date.
No, my brief answer is you are wrong. I have
What
been.
concessions has Russia
Wait
offered?
Wait a second, please. I have been emphasizing repeatedly, in relation to Ukraine, in relation to strategic relations with the United States, I have been emphasizing our readiness to seek balance of interests. If this is not what your station considers readiness for negotiations, then I don't know how to be even less eloquent in trying to be brief in my answers.
Well, there have been very clear, specific things said by the Trump administration, such as the vice president saying that the current lines of contact in Ukraine would freeze and end up fairly close to where troops are right now. Do you actually consider that a concession?
I don't discuss publicly the details of what is being subject of negotiations. I understand that you love rumors, because rumors are played around.
The Vice President of the United States said it on camera.
Was it a question? What did you say?
Well, rumor. You said it was a rumor. The Vice President said it.
No, I said
Perhaps
that we.
you missed it.
No, I said about us. We are not discussing things which are subject to negotiations.
Okay. Minister Lavrov, thank you for your time this morning.